a black Jew, and we have Nema Diana, and of the King of Radio. Today being a Thursday, we talk about church and gospel music. Earlier on, before we transition to TV, we were speaking about something that is very profound. We're talking about people that are in church and are gifted differently, and as time goes on, they end up probably starting up ministries. An example, we have musicians that started as gospel artists, that started as worship leaders, that started as praise leaders, and then eventually, over time, they started up ministries. Others started as interpreters, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and they end up starting also ministries. So we're asking, is it a divine calling? Is it a calling they pick along the way? Is it something that was embedded on the inside of them that probably came out later? Or some are persuaded by the fame, some are persuaded probably by the pomp that comes with being a great artist. Nemubagamba katengeri joyimba obulungi osobola okusumba engeri gyosemberedde nnyo abasumba abo n'obavunula naawe oli musumba. That's a discussion we're talking about, and King was giving us great examples of artists that have transitioned into that successfully, and he said that others that tried it and it didn't work out.
Yeah, because you're not called to it. Because you're not called into it. You know, sometimes people fail to understand that calling is a very important key. And it being an important key, you know, it being an important key, you can't do it by your might. You get it? You see, when you're called, where there is a vision, there is always provision. If you're actually doing things and you feel like you're striving, like it's a
it's a rock.
Is it possible to have a calling and things fail to work out, and along the way ministry negano genda maso?
No, we see
Are you sure that
tekisoboka kubanga you have a true calling,
visions.
You have a vision and you are truly called by God himself.
Challenge eriwo yino wamanga. You see, the challenge I have, I will ask you a simple question. Diana, if I give you a job and I employ you and I don't give you a because sevewa okitegedde,
yeah,
buzivunanyizibwa bwani? Exactly. Tesobola kwagala nnyo kanisa eno kusinga yagifiirira nanyiniyo. You cannot wake up and say you have a responsibility over your life, okitegedde, you have a responsibility over your life and there is no provision for that. Then jirekere yabitandika.
Because I've seen pastors that have started churches and later on end up going to Cheyo.
Pastors that have deserted their churches and ministries in kanisa yamugejjako n'agireka.
Yes, so now what anogambe ya church.
Amweziri. Mweziri mwana mama. There are very many churches, by the way.
What happens when you're closing a church? Oyite ndiga no bagasicha basobola change of direction or
no. You have your assistant pastors wali wate.
We help jumpstart your day like this. The wake up call.
Excitement, probably we were persuaded wrongly and we ventured into something that was not God's calling.
You see, the issue is, again, it's a good space to actually realize that that has not called to it. You see, when you're starting a church, it's like you're starting a business. When you're starting anything, ministry, it's like you're starting a business. Like this, the processes you go through are exactly that. First and foremost, you need to be registered in the laws of Uganda. You understand that? You need to actually do things according to terms and conditions. And then you do avail them. You understand that? Then you start. When it fails, it fails. You see, I have seen men who have started ministry and they have never struggled.
Not at all?
Not at all. For some reason, things align themselves. Things align themselves. Things align themselves. You get this partner, pan this partner, pan this partner, pan this partner. And I have seen those that have actually tried it. And things have failed completely. And also, because I was actually also looking at social media a few days ago. I think even yesterday they are training about, social media was training about, I think, Phaneroo Ministries. They are saying that, hey, Ismaya Ministry was registered in individual names, blah, 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 which is okay.
But we have churches that are registered as companies, limited,
Diana.
And then those that are non-government organizations.
Kakati, let me help you understand these things, by the way. If you have never started a business in this life, if you've never opened up a company in this Kampala, you should not be in some of the conversations in the city. Now, when it comes to actually starting up something, for example, I want to start, let's say, Royal Ministries International. You understand that, Masanyu? Now, it is me with the vision. Me. Inze.
You birth the vision.
I have the vision. I know how I want it to look like. I know where I want it to go. And I know the direction. Now, I will not wait to first work with Royal Ministries International for 7 years for me to get the right people to align with the vision. For me to go now again and register Royal Ministries.
Okay.
I first have to register Royal Ministries within my names. And a few people, 1 or 2, or my wife, or my son, or my daughter, whoever, who is close to me, gwemanyi, tagenda kunta taganya, mubintu byengendo kola. Obochitegedde, as we move forward, nga wetusanga. Then eventually,
vision ibwekula
negaziwa, also chusa, na yengo oliko assured completely and also. And again, tovira kodalo sigala ku trustees. Then again, wali baitaida boards. Yes, I can actually register in my names, but I don't have the sole powers of everything. Nga waliwo board enyambako, waliwo advisors abanyambako, trustees ababerawo. You understand that?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
At some particular point, olaba ignorance at its stake, at its peak, when people are actually saying particular things. No gamba. Anybody who's starting a church should be registered as a company. Bagano zije saying NGO in Mateka ge Kampala one.
So churches are companies?
Yes, limited by guarantee.
Churches are companies.
Limited by guarantee.
So you register it in your name. So if a pastor registers the company,
yes,
he has the sole powers to give shares to whoever he wishes.
Yes. But why do you have to give shares in church? Why do you have to give shares in church?
Because it's a company.
No, but it should not be given shares.
Interesting.
Kanisa yote weba company kanisa yote muli mubayinamu mukono basignatories ku sente nga mutesa butesa
anti kati the systems izozimba eventually. Masanyu, you understand that you build a system, then you have secretaries, then you have accountants, then you have managers. Managers.
One of these days we should jump on set someone that is very knowledgeable about church registration to demystify a few facts.
Do you know I've registered a ministry before?
To demystify myths.
I have registered a ministry before.
A church?
I have been in the process of registering a ministry before.
You want to register a church?
I can kunyonyola si bya hearsay.
Hey.
Join this conversation by sending us a WhatsApp. Send us a WhatsApp on 0705.
No, not ideally mine.
At least to manage.
Yes, not ideally mine. Yes. But if you're to start a company, that's why me when I was seeing people saying just in his names and the wife's name, atekekani atagenda kuvaamu. Do you know that? Do you know Masanyu?
The people that join the church,
yes,
simply because of excitement. Simply because bali kumpi ne church.
And you can't count on them.
Because some of the hurdles and hassles pastors go through, I've seen young pastors struggling with their ministry. People have sold their homes. omusumba n'atula ne mukyale naga tunde ennyumba yaffe tugulire kanisa ettaka omusumba naye asacrificing abamu baba bakola omusaala gwe gonna n'azimba ekkanisa n'ateekawo structures neyeefiiriza n'asaka eno neno n'agula ebyuma. I mean, when people find a church that is already set
let me give you a story because me and
namubuuza eno ekkanisa lwaki eri mannya go wekka
erina kubeera mannya gani
Masanyu and King me and my pastor's kid.
Masanyu,
Yes. Let me give you a story of how the church-
Masanyu, if I actually put register my name as a church owner, business owner, then name kutekako Masanyu. However much Masanyu you're deep, we have seen human beings how they flip, how they turn with their intentions. Mukama yatukweka emitima. Ekintu kiba kigenda maaso gayi neyekalakasa n'agamba njagala nebibatambula n'ozimba omutima
n'alingiza mu kabbo n'alaba
nga waliwo investors ze mu kanisa n'abagamba ayagala patterninga
nekitali ekyo Masanyu omuntu akeera bukezi n'aflippinga
n'akyuka
and then they flip and before you know it you're in court agamba company yange si yange company yange si yange ze natandika champanya si nagitandika nemubeera muri ebintu.
I know,
you get
right?
it until you realize no gama manyi the only person I know cannot flip on me is my wife. Now that they need more than two people to register a company, let me register her names to take you. Abalala banajja, they will align in the vision,
but the
and then we
intention
continue.
is good.
Diana is a pastor's kid. Let me pick your mind on this.
The intention is good. Let me give you just a small story of how the church started. And the amount of sacrifices these men of God and women of God given. Now, we started from home, the church, from home. Like mudiro munda fellowship litandikira munda and every day you're inconvenienced abantu bavaawo sawa 5 za kiro 6 za kiro, you get it, every single day mwaba ino kuleta kachayi mwaba ino kukola chi, like you sacrifice your own home, your own
comfort,
space,
your resources,
your resources for the church to start, for these people to benefit. Now church nejja nedda muki negaziwa abantu nga tebachajjamu muki mudiro olwo deliverance bichi then mudda mulujjawo twateekawo gundi temporary gundi zineno nga twafunye tundubaale awe tundubaale nga bwoba olifunye oba wakabi nnyo by then waliwo mabanda ogamanyi
reads
amabanda ne bagasalamu ne bagakolesa like the whole place ne basiba awo ne tutandikira awo mu lujja ne tukola church netambula abantu ne bajja naye nga musumba kiro nkeera service ya nkeera nga akusaba amapaapaali n'ateekamu ebimuli n'akola ki n'ayera like family yonna erina okubeera involved.
Get invested in that.
Waliwo abatimba, waliwo abalongoosa, waliwo aba making sure toilets ziri fine, waliwo aba making sure aba ushering nga twegabanyaamu. Everyone had to serve at home. Everyone. Then waliwo n'abafumbira abantu because abantu balina okulya. So you can imagine from there yali awaddeyo bali bawaddeyo ettaka lye twali tubeerako ennyumba we yali ebeera fe tugende tuveewo tugende tupangise ewalala. You can imagine
that sacrifice,
the kind of sacrifices men of God and women of God do make for the ministry, the vision bearers. Nti bw'omusanga nga registering amanya mu linnya lye, I'm not saying nti bonna ba registering amanya gaabwe, but it's because they love this thing. They've sacrificed for this thing. They want it to go kugenda maaso. And from there, they went natunda ente za mama we tata we ze bali bamulekedde to go and buy land aleme kuwaayo maka. Then they sold mente, then they came ne bagula ettaka kati ku ttaka ate era nga nagwo omulimu era mupya mulina okusenda musendesa leba mwe bennyini mwe leba
kati ekkanisa eyimiridde ebyuma mulina ebuweereza butambula kati waliwo ajja n'ababuuza eno ekkanisa lwaki yammwe ng'abantu
naye nga n'okutandika ogizimba mwabasombye amatofaali mwabasombye omusenyu mwabasombye amayinja mwe bennyini ng'ogenda n'akagundi n'owetika otambula n'ogenda n'okateekawo. Like that's how the church started. You get it?
Diana,
so the amount of
when I was looking at you explain all that what you went through, I realized how much you have suffered. That's why you don't hate being
we
married.
used to miss-
That's why you hate
we
being
used
married to a
even-
pastor.
I cannot get married to a
That's
pastor.
why you don't want to
But
get married
we
to a pastor.
used
But
to
I
even
know for a
miss-
fact it shall be on you that a pastor will marry you.
Yes, what's wrong with this one?
We help jumpstart your day like this. The Wake Up Call.